NIA files a 13,800-page charge sheet in the Pulwama terror attack case against 19 accused, 7 of whom are Pakistani national. Jaish-e-Mohammed chief Masood Azhar named the main accused. Charge sheet clearly spells out links with Pakistan. A central team to assess the extent of flood damage in Assam today. Flash flood warning issued in Gujarat and southwestern Rajasthan. Meteorology department predicts heavy rainfall in Odisha and West Bengal. The Sharda and Sarayu rivers flow above the danger mark at some places in Uttar Pradesh. Water levels rise in the Yamuna. Flood situation in Bihar improves relatively. Good news in India's battle against COVID-19 pandemic. 66,000 people recover in the last 24 hours. It's the highest number of recoveries in a single day. Recovery rate improves further to 75.92%. Globally, the number of infected cases rise to 2 crore 40 lakh. First Lady Melania Trump and Secretary of State Mike Pompeo are key speakers on the second night of the 2020 Republican National Convention. Two of the president's children, Eric and Tiffany Trump, will also speak. Pompeo is breaking with tradition in addressing the convention as Secretary of State. BRICS countries discuss cooperation in 5G and artificial intelligence. China is to establish BRICS innovation base in the country to boost the cooperation. Good morning. Welcome to English News. I am Anil Thomas. Now for the stories in detail. The National Investigating Agency has filed a charge sheet in the Pulwama terror attack case. The attack took place on the 14th of February last year, in which at least 40 Indian paramilitary personnel were killed. The charge sheet points to a clear Pakistani hand in the attack. It names Jaish-e-Mohammed chief Masood Azhar, his brothers and nephew. It is yet another irrefutable evidence of Pakistan's role in carrying out terror attacks in India.
The National Investigation Agency on Tuesday filed a charge sheet in a Jammu court against 19 people, including Masood Azhar, the chief of banned terror group Jaish-e-Mohammed, for planning and carrying out a deadly suicide attack on a CRPF convoy that left more than 40 personnel dead at Pulwama in Jammu and Kashmir in February 2019. Masood Azhar was the mastermind of the attack. 18 others were named in the charge sheet. They included Azhar's brothers Abdul Rauf Asghar and Ammar Alvi and nephew Umar Farooq. Farooq was the son of Ibrahim Attar, who was accused of hijacking an Indian aircraft in 1999. 7 of the 19 persons named in the charge sheet have been arrested. The NIA solved what was a blind case after piecing together the electronic evidence and statements of terrorists and their sympathizers arrested in different cases.
2019, Modi government brought in an amendment to that act. This is the first case which has started after the amendment. Pulwama will set up a benchmark as to how international agencies have to work in coordination with each other in dealing with terrorism.
This case also brings to light the use of e-commerce platforms by terrorists and their handlers for purchase of high-end batteries, phones and some chemicals. The charge sheet states that Jaish-e-Mohammed terrorist Adil Ahmed Dar drove the IED-laden vehicle. The JEM leaders have been sending their cadres to the terrorist training camps of Al-Qaeda Taliban JEM and Haqqani JEM in Afghanistan for receiving training in explosives and other terrorist tactics. The main accused, Muhammad Umar Farooq, also visited Afghanistan for explosives training in 2016 and 17. He infiltrated into India through the international border at Jammu Samba sector in April 2018 and took over as the Jaish-e-Mohammed's commander of Pulwama. Muhammad Umar, along with 3 Pakistani compatriots and 2 local associates, planned and prepared for the attack on the security forces using IEDs. The investigation has revealed that the Pakistan-based JEM leadership, consisting of Masood Azhar, Rauf Asghar and Ammar Alvi, were continuously giving directions and guidance to the Pakistani JEM terrorists. The investigation also revealed a well-crafted mechanism by Pakistani establishment to push terrorists into the Indian territory from the launch pads located in Shakargarh in Pakistan opposite Samba Katwa sector in Jammu. The charge sheet has brought on record the all-out involvement of Pakistan-based entities to carry out terrorist strikes in India and to incite and provoke Kashmiri youth. NBWs have been issued against the absconding accused and further investigation in the case is continuing. The 13,800-page charge sheet names people who were arrested from Pulwama for providing shelter and shooting the last video of Adil Dar with Sudhakar Das in New Delhi, DD India.
In order to meet the social distancing requirements due to COVID-19 pandemic, National Testing Agency, that's NTA, has substantially increased the number of examination centers for JEE Main and NEET undergraduate exams. The number of examination centers have increased from 570 to 660 in case of JEE Main and 2,546 to 3,843 in case of NEET 2020. Additionally, in case of JEE Main, the number of shifts have been increased from the earlier 8 to 12, and the number of candidates per shift has also been reduced from the earlier 1,32,000 to 85,000 now. Candidates have also been issued advisory guiding them about the do's and don'ts for proper social distancing. NTA has also returned to the state governments to extend support in local movement of the candidates so that they are able to reach their examination centers on time. 8,58,000 and 15,97,000 candidates have registered for JEE Main and NEET respectively. JEE Main exam is scheduled to be held from the 1st of September to the 6th of September. NEET examination will be held on the 13th of September. Well, Nishant Saurabh, our correspondent, joining us with more updates. Nishant, why is there confusion and why is there, children calling frantically to find out more? Things are pretty clear. It's there in black and white, when it comes to information about the exam dates, information about, students downloading their entry data, their examination forms. Why is there confusion in the minds of people?
ये कह दिया है कि छात्रों का एक साल बर्बाद नहीं किया जा सकता है, एक एकेडमिक ईयर बर्बाद नहीं किया जा सकता है और इसीलिए जेईई मेन और नीट की परीक्षाएं आयोजित कराना जरूरी है क्योंकि स्टूडेंट्स के करियर के हिसाब से ये बेहद महत्वपूर्ण है। इसलिए अगर एग्जाम नहीं कंडक्ट कराया जाता तो एक साल निश्चित तौर पर छात्रों का बर्बाद हो जाता और ऐसे में निश्चित तौर पर महामारी है लेकिन पर्याप्त सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग मेंटेन करते हुए एग्जाम कंडक्ट करवाए जा सकते हैं, जिसकी पूरी व्यवस्था, पूरा अरेंजमेंट नेशनल टेस्टिंग एजेंसी ने किया है कि सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग नॉर्म्स जो हैं उसको फॉलो करते हुए एग्जाम कंडक्ट करवाया जाए, इसकी पूरी व्यवस्था की गई है। तो जब सुप्रीम कोर्ट का डिसीजन आ चुका है तो ऐसे में कोई कंफ्यूजन नहीं होना चाहिए और एनटीए ने जो एग्जाम को लेकर सेफ्टी गाइडलाइंस जो है उसको भी फाइनलाइज कर दिया है कि किस किस प्रकार सेफ्टी गाइडलाइंस होंगे, सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग कैसे मेंटेन करना है। जैसा कि आपने बताया कि एग्जाम के जो सेंटर्स हैं उनकी संख्या भी बढ़ाई गई है। नीट एग्जाम के लिए करीब 50% एग्जाम सेंटर्स बढ़ाए गए हैं और इसी तरह जेईई मेन के लिए भी जो जनवरी में जो एग्जाम हुआ था, जेईई मेन एग्जाम साल में 2 बार ये परीक्षा होती है, तो जनवरी में जो एग्जाम हुआ था उसके मुकाबले जनवरी में जहां 570 एग्जाम सेंटर्स थे, अभी 660 एग्जाम सेंटर बनाए गए हैं। तो और नंबर ऑफ शिफ्ट जो 1 से 6 सितंबर तक जो जेईई मेन की परीक्षा होनी है, पहले ये 8 शिफ्ट में एग्जाम होना था, अब उसको बढ़ाकर 12 शिफ्ट कर दिया गया और हर शिफ्ट में पहले जहां 1,32,000 कैंडिडेट्स को बैठना था, अब उसको भी कम करके 85,000 कर दिया गया। यानी एक शिफ्ट में 1,32,000 की जगह अब केवल 85,000 स्टूडेंट्स ही अपीयर होंगे। और उसी तरह जी
यस निशांत, गो ऑन।
उसी तरह नीट एग्जाम की भी बात करें तो पहले जो व्यवस्था थी उसके हिसाब से एक रूम में 24 कैंडिडेट ही उनको बैठना था, जिसे अब कम करके एक रूम में 12 स्टूडेंट कर दिया गया, मतलब आधा कर दिया गया है, ताकि जो एग्जाम हॉल के अंदर सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग को मेंटेन किया जा सके। और जेईई मेन परीक्षा में भी उसी तरह जैसे एक सीट छोड़कर यानी अल्टरनेट सीट पे ही स्टूडेंट्स को बैठाया जाएगा, ताकि पर्याप्त सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग मेंटेन किया जा सके।
Two things briefly. First, when it comes to admit cards, when do the kids get their admit cards? Secondly, when it comes to the choice of city for the examination centers, what is the rate at which students have managed to get the cities of their choice?
जी अनिल, जो अगर एडमिट कार्ड की बात करें तो चूंकि 1 से 6 सितंबर तक जेईई मेन की परीक्षा होनी है, तो ऐसे में एडमिट कार्ड स्टूडेंट्स को इशू कर दिए गए हैं। और जेईई मेन एग्जाम में 8,58,000 स्टूडेंट्स अपीयर हो रहे हैं, तो उसमें मैं आपको बता दूं कि 7,25,000 से ज्यादा कैंडिडेट्स ने अपने एडमिट कार्ड डाउनलोड कर लिए हैं। मतलब ये हम बताएं तो 85% से अधिक स्टूडेंट्स ने अपने एडमिट कार्ड डाउनलोड भी कर लिए हैं। और जहां तक नीट एग्जाम की बात करें तो नीट एग्जाम चूंकि 13 सितंबर को होना है, तो उसके लिए एग्जाम से नीट एनटीए ने पहले ही कह दिया था कि एग्जाम से 15 दिन पहले एडमिट कार्ड जारी किए जाएंगे। यानी आने वाले 2-3 दिनों के अंदर हम ये उम्मीद कर सकते हैं कि नीट एग्जाम के भी एडमिट कार्ड जारी कर दिए जाएंगे। और जहां तक एग्जाम सेंटर के चॉइस की बात है तो स्टूडेंट्स को, चूंकि आपको पता है कि कोविड की वजह से कई कैंडिडेट्स जो हैं वो एक जगह से दूसरी जगह चले गए। जैसे किसी स्टूडेंट ने अगर पहले दिल्ली के लिए अपना चॉइस दिया था, वो कोविड की वजह से अगर वो बिहार जा चुका है, तो स्टूडेंट्स को एग्जाम सेंटर चेंज करने के 5 बार ऑप्शन दिए गए थे। 5 बार मौके दिए गए उनको कि वो अपना एग्जाम सेंटर का सिटी जो है वो बदल सकते हैं। तो नीट और जेईई एग्जाम्स के काफी कैंडिडेट्स ने इस सुविधा का लाभ उठाया। अगर मैं आपको बताऊं, फिगर बताऊं तो जेईई में 6,60,000 से अधिक स्टूडेंट्स और नीट में 95,000 से अधिक स्टूडेंट्स ने इस अपॉर्चुनिटी का लाभ उठाया और उन्होंने अपने एग्जाम सेंटर के सिटी को बदला। तो इस हिसाब से देखें तो काफी स्टूडेंट्स ने इस फैसिलिटी का फायदा उठाया। और मैं आपको बताऊं कि दोनों एग्जाम में, नीट और जेईई दोनों एग्जाम में 99% से अधिक स्टूडेंट्स को उसके फर्स्ट चॉइस ऑफ सेंटर ही दिए गए हैं जहां पे वो एग्जाम दे सकते हैं। यानी 99% से अधिक छात्र उनकी जो पहली प्रेफरेंस थे वहीं पे वो एग्जाम देंगे। तो एनटीए ने ये पूरा ख्याल रखा है कि छात्रों को किसी प्रकार की दिक्कत ना हो, जो स्टूडेंट जहां पर है वो वहीं पर एग्जाम दे सकता है। तो ये काफी एक सहूलियत है कैंडिडेट्स के लिए। और मैं आपको ये भी बता दूं अनिल कि जो सेफ्टी प्रोटोकॉल है पूरा वो भी फाइनलाइज कर दिया गया है एग्जाम को लेकर कि जहां स्टूडेंट्स के लिए वहां एग्जाम सेंटर पर फेस मास्क या ग्लव्स प्रोवाइड कराए जाएंगे। अगर कोई स्टूडेंट चाहे तो उनको प्रोवाइड कराया जा सकता है। प्रॉपरली एग्जाम, प्री एग्जाम और पोस्ट एग्जाम सैनिटाइजेशन कराया जाएगा। ये सारी चीजें हैं जो कि फाइनलाइज की जा चुकी हैं और छात्रों को निश्चित तौर पर किसी प्रकार की चिंता करने की जरूरत नहीं है।
Okay, Nishant, thank you and appreciate you joining us. Citing all the reasons why this particular exams will be held on time. NTA, that's the National Testing Agency, taking care to see to it that in this COVID times, every precaution is taken so that children's safety is a priority while they undergo the JEE and NET exams. Thank you and appreciate you joining us this morning with those updates there. That particular story, lot of calls coming in, worried children calling up to ask with regards to the examination date. So JEE and NEET exams very much on schedule in the month of September. NTA will take care of all the safety requirements. Moving on, in an exclusive interview on Tuesday, Union Education Minister Dr. Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank said that the JEE and NEET examinations would be held as per schedule in September in line with the wishes of parents and students alike. He said 85% students have already downloaded the admit card. The minister also said student safety was paramount and the exam centers were allotted as per the convenience of students.
अभिभावकों के और छात्रों के लगातार हम पर दबाव रहा, साहब आप नीट की परीक्षा क्यों नहीं करा रहे हैं, आप जेईई की परीक्षा क्यों नहीं करा रहे हैं। अभिभावक इतना परेशान थे कि बच्चा कब तक पढ़ता रहेगा, क्या होगा आखिर, ये इसका तो कोई समय जो है होना चाहिए। हम लोग जब परिस्थितियाँ थी तो एक बार थोड़ा सा पीछे किया, फिर दूसरी बार पीछे किया, क्योंकि ऐसी परिस्थितियाँ थी, लोग तैयार भी नहीं थे। आज ही एनटी के जो डीजी ने मुझे सूचना दी, मुझे बहुत खुशी है कि जेईई के जो कुल छात्र थे वो 8.58 लाख छात्रों ने अपना रजिस्ट्रेशन किया था और उसमें से कल तक 7,25,000 छात्रों ने एडमिट कार्ड को डाउनलोड कर दिया। हम छात्र के साथ हैं, पहले उसकी सुरक्षा, उसके बाद उसकी शिक्षा।
When asked about the reopening of schools, the minister said a decision would be taken in accordance with the guidelines of the Home and Health Ministries.
इस समय एक सवाल जो अमूमन सोशल मीडिया पर बहुत वायरल भी होता है, जिसको लेकर अलग अलग जवाब भी सुनने को मिलते हैं कि स्कूल कब खुलेंगे।
छात्र की सुरक्षा हमारे लिए पहली बात है और उसके बाद उसकी शिक्षा दूसरा महत्वपूर्ण बात है। तो गृह मंत्रालय और स्वास्थ्य मंत्रालय के साथ हम लगातार विचार विमर्श कर रहे हैं। जैसे जैसे उनके सुझाव मिलते रहेंगे वैसे वैसे हम लोग ये आगे की रणनीति को बनाते रहेंगे।
A 6-member central team will arrive in Assam today to assess the extent of damage caused by the floods that affected around 57 lakh people and killed 113 people between May 22nd and August 20th. The team will visit the flood-affected districts to assess the damage to property, crops and various other aspects including river dams. CEO of Assam Disaster Management Authority, MS Manivanan, has said that during their 3-day visit to Assam, the team will hold meetings with senior officials of the Revenue Department and Disaster Management Authority. Meanwhile, the state has earlier sent an interim flood report to the centre seeking compensation for the damage due to the deluge. Heading to western India and Gujarat, incessant rains across several states have worsened the flood situation. Rainfall continues unabated in 33 districts of Gujarat since the last 10 days, registering 107% of the rainfall in the season. Some part of the state registered rainfall of over 4 to 9 inches. In Abdasa extension of Kutch region, water has entered in dwellings after receiving rainfall of 9 inches. While in Junagadh, communication has been cut in some villages, due to which people are facing hardships. Administration and NDRF are reaching out to rescue them. According to the State Emergency Operations Center, 30 people have died in the last 3 days due to rain-related incidents. Meanwhile, 95 rivers of the state are flowing above the danger mark. Surendranagar has witnessed rainfall of 125%, while Rajkot and Dwarka have also recorded 141 and 281%. Flood has inundated fields in Saurashtra, destroying the crops of farmers. In Rajasthan, monsoon is active and the state will continue to witness intense rainfall activity this week as the Met Department forecast heavy to very heavy showers across the state until Friday. The state has received only 5% less rain than the average so far, while 3 districts have received excess rain. However, there are 8 districts where they have received less rain than usual. Met Department has issued an yellow alert for Barmer and Jaisalmer, where heavy rains are expected at some places. Out of the 750 dams in the state, 70 has witnessed their full capacity, while gates of the Mahi Dam were open to release excess water after heavy rains. Moving to Bihar, where there has been a partial improvement in the flood situation in the state. However, the affected population has not decreased. There are still 1,333 panchayats in 130 blocks of 16 districts facing floods. A total population of more than 83 lakhs are affected in these districts. 27 people have so far died due to the current floods. According to the Met Office, there has been heavy rainfall in the catchment areas of Bagmati and Adbara rivers in Nepal. This may impact the water level in these rivers in Bihar. The river Bagmati, Gandak and Budi Gandak are all flowing above the danger mark at many places. Well, Salman Haider, our correspondent tracking Bihar for us, joining us this morning. Salman, the rains have stopped, but what's the situation there at ground zero? Just as I read the report, it spoke about many people still in relief camps.
Yeah, it's still, but their number is going down.
Okay.
As far as the relief camps are concerned, only 5,000 people are now living in relief camps, mostly in Samastipur district, which is worst affected district, second worst affected district, first being Darbhanga, where over 20 lakh people are still facing the deluge. So the situation right now is somewhat improvement is there, but there has been rainfall in catchment areas of rivers that are coming into Bihar. So there has been heavy rainfall, in fact, yesterday. So the situation is still grim. But in some areas, partial improvement has been observed. And Ganga is also above the danger mark in Gandhi Ghat, Kahalgaon, but it has gone below the danger mark in Munger and Digha Ghat. So situation is somewhat remains static with some improvement. So this is the situation here. And
Okay, we'll leave it there, Salman. Thank you and appreciate you joining us this morning with those updates there from Bihar. Well, moving on, India is marching ahead in the fight against COVID-19. While on the one hand, recovery rate is increasing, on the other, India's testing infrastructure is expanding. Around 3 crore 68 lakh samples have been tested in India so far. At the same time, rate of infection in India has fallen to 8.6%. The ministry said that it is following the test, track and treat approach. 24 lakh 4,000 people have recovered from the virus, and the recovery rate in India has climbed to 75.92%. The fatality rate has also further fallen to 1.84%. And now an update from the Mahad building collapse in the Raigad district in Maharashtra. The death toll in the Mahad building collapse has increased to 14. 3 national disaster response teams, force teams are engaged in rescue and relief operations there. The latest technology, including drones and sniffer dogs, are being used in the rescue operations. In a massive rescue operation, the NDRF has rescued a 60-year-old lady alive from the debris. Mirusiana Abdul Hamid Akazi was taken out alive after more than 24 hours after the building collapse. Meanwhile, Maharashtra's Relief and Rehabilitation Minister Vijay Vedivatkar has announced an ex gratia of 5 lakh each for the families of the deceased. He added that financial assistance up to 50,000 will be provided to the injured. Stating that the construction material used was of very poor quality, the minister said that the guilty will be brought to book. On to international stories. First Lady Melania Trump and Secretary of State Mike Pompeo are key speakers on the second night of the 2020 Republican National Convention being held today. 2 of the president's children, Eric and Tiffany, will also speak at the RNC. Pompeo is breaking with tradition in addressing the convention as Secretary of State. That's all we have time for in this edition of news. Thanks for watching, but do take good care of yourself.